Jay Bruce Miller with us here on ESPN 680. How much of the conversation with Stern can you share with us?
Well, I don't want to characterize it. It was originally, I would say, it was originally set to be about a 30-minute conversation. When I told him who the international investors were, where they were from, what they were prepared to do, and laid it all out, as I guess you could actually, what happens, he said, wait a minute, I better get my yellow pad. And he got his secretary and told her to get a fella in. And the meeting lasted from 3, and it was going to be 3 to 3:30. It lasted from 3 to 4:45.
Oh, my goodness.
So it wasn't just, how's Diane and how's your wife Norma and the kids and the grandkids. No, it wasn't all that. It might have started, he thought it wasn't going to be that, but when he realized who these people were, the discussions had to take place. And we had to take advantage of the opportunity, and we did. And so I don't know. I don't want to characterize it beyond that. Obviously it's, Louisville is a difficult sell in some measures. On the other hand, Louisville, if it works in Salt Lake City and in San Antonio and Oklahoma City, and it's worked for years in Indianapolis until recently, there any reason why it wouldn't work here?
Well, to me, I was going to say that. I was just in Oklahoma City, and the palpable excitement about that team, it happened to be during All-Star break, and obviously they had Durant there, and, they've got Westbrook, and, it was a great feel. A lot of businesses with signs, come watch the Thunder here, and yet I don't think it's taken one bit away from Big 12 basketball. Those people still love Oklahoma and still love Oklahoma State.
As you well know, Norman, Oklahoma is 18, where University of Oklahoma is 18 miles from downtown Oklahoma City. And they've won 26 national championships in various sports there at University of Oklahoma. And, and this thing hasn't hurt the University of Oklahoma's athletic program in the least.
No, I don't. And that was the biggest market in the country outside of Louisville without pro sports. And
that's correct.
They filled a void. So
that's correct.
I would think the success of Oklahoma City has to be persuasive in some ways.
Well, I think it is. And there's another interesting advantage we have, if you have a second.
Sure.
I think there's 6 cities in America that are in the franchise, that have NBA franchises right now, that have one cable company that services the entire market area. Many of them are split up. There's Fox South, and there's Cox, but Insight, which is ours locally, also services Lexington, Covington, Bowling Green, Evansville, Owensboro. And so that in and of itself is about 1,400,000 or 1,500,000 television homes that are serviced by the same cable TV franchise. And it provides something that only 6 other franchises across the country have that. So there are unique things about Louisville's opportunity that when you really start looking at it and explaining it to major investors that are interested in doing this, not only the interest in basketball, but all of that, you begin to see how this thing makes, we doubt our ability to do things but we do have the capability of doing this.
Well, I just look at it, or try to. Obviously, I don't have the training and the resources that David Stern has, or even some of the resources that you've got at your disposal. But I work for ESPN, and I know that what they look at, they are driven simply by how many eyeballs can they get on their product. And so football is at the forefront right now because across the country in most markets, football's king. We love football here, but I would say, all you got to do is look at that NCAA tournament. Even if Louisville or Kentucky's not in it, we always have the highest TV ratings other than, a team that's actually playing in the championship game every year.
That's exactly correct.
And so I don't see why they wouldn't say, you know what, can't we parlay that into the next level with the NBA? I would think you got a shot at it. And if it's all about TV, which it is, this would be an untapped resource, I would think.
Yes, I don't think there's any question about it. And And the people that know the business think that. The biggest problem I've always had with this kind of thing is getting Louisville to believe in itself. I mean, when you can sell, when you don't even have to sell people who don't live here on the concept of it, we shouldn't be such doubting Thomases about our own ability to do things.
Well, that's, you know what? I just remember talking to Jim Host. He came on the show when they were doing the arena. I was amazed. We were getting phone calls from people. Well, I heard this, Jim. And Jim would very patiently say, no, that's not true. Well, I heard this. I heard it. No, that's not true. I heard it. You know what? The whole thing's going to be underwater. No, but that's not true. I mean, it was so, believe me, I saw it firsthand. We went through an hour of phone calls where not one of the concerns was based in any merit. It was unbelievable.
Well, we've got a track record here of doing something that is kind of strange. We develop excuses for a non-performance, and then we turn them into reasons, and then we don't have to perform.
That's true.
and the example of it is many times we say, well, we can't compete with Indy or Nashville or whatever because they're state capitals. But the last time I looked, neither was New York City or Chicago or L.A. or Dallas.
That's true.
You know, it didn't hold it. It didn't hold Charlotte back because it ain't the state capital.
That's true. You're right.
We don't need to make those. We don't need that thought process in the 21st century.
All right. Before I let you go, so what's the next chapter? If nothing comes now, will it be? Is there a possibility to be next year? Does it just go away? Where are we in the landscape?
Well, these investors have signed an agreement that if they do it, they're only going to do it in Louisville. So that's a pretty good agreement. So nobody's going to take them away from us. Now, so what our job to do is to hope that everybody's got to be patient enough to see how the CBA thing works. If there was a strike or a lockout, argument could be made that it was to our favor because it would give us more time to be prepared for either an expansion or a transfer of a franchise. If there was a lockout, there might be several franchises need to move because of various economic reasons. I don't know. But all I know is we got wealthy enough guys that we're going to be ready for whatever opportunity presents itself, which has really not ever been the case before.
That's a good point. You're right. You got the pieces are in place. Unfortunately, as much as we'd like to force it, there's nothing you can force until the CBA deal runs its course.
I wish we could, but practicality says that's just not going to happen.
Well, we'll stay in touch, Bruce. When there's more news, you can always just let us know here. We'd love to hear for it because I would love to see the NBA in town. So I wish you the best of luck.
Bob, you're a super guy. Thanks for talking with me.
All right, we appreciate it. Jay Bruce Miller with the update on what's going on with the NBA. And that answered a lot of questions for me, frankly. And hopefully it did for you as well. The Daily Dime is coming up next. College basketball news from the research department.